My name is Dennis DeSantis. I'm at the Ableton office in Berlin, and I'm just going to make a track using Ableton Live. I have a couple of controllers. This keyboard controller I'm going to use to enter notes, and I have the Akai APC40, which I'm going to use to control the devices in my set, and Live's mixer, and also launch clips. So I'm going to be working in Live Session View, which is this grid we see here. Each of these individual blocks can hold some kind of musical idea, from a couple notes to a whole track. And it's a great place to put together ideas before I have a sense of how long I want a track to be, or the arrangement, or the form, or anything. So I'm going to do something with this track, kind of a down-tempo, arpeggiated chord thing. It's much too fast. So let's make this slower. I'm going to play with the sound a little bit. Great, that's kind of what I want. Now I'm just going to record this idea. Great, and then I'm going to add a little bit more to this sound. Now that I have an idea, I'm going to turn the metronome off and just check the sound out a little bit. So I like this. I'm going to go ahead and start working on a drum track now. Get a drum kit here. So in Live, I can drop new instruments, new effects in place, and create tracks on the fly without ever stopping a clip. So I have some ideas about what I want this groove to do. I'm going to launch this clip, and we can listen to it as I write the part. So I like what I have so far, but it's a little too purely electronic. I'd like to record an acoustic part on top of this. So I have a shaker, and I'm going to record a 4-bar loop of me playing shaker in 16 notes. So working in Live Session View is great because I can leave the clips that I have recorded already running, which makes a great background for me to record a new part. So I like that. I'm happy with the way this turned out. It's a good mix of acoustic and electronic. I'm going to keep it the way it is, maybe mix it a little later. So I want to go in a different direction for this, for the B section of this song. So I'm going to use some material that I worked on before and just drag this from a different set into the current set. I realized that I like these occasional 30-second note skip beats that happen, but I don't want them in every bar. So I'm going to drag the warp markers for a couple of these to the 16th note that happens before. I think that's going to make slightly better variation. Yeah, that's good. And I'll do it for the last one, too. Let me zoom in on that. Great. So I've moved a little bit of that audio around, and now I have more variety in here. So I've put together 2 song parts of a collection of musical ideas, kind of a basic sketch for what's going to become a finished track. I've now brought in some additional materials to fill in the sound a bit, and also done a bit more sound design, a bit of production work, some stuff on the master channel now just to make the sound a little bit more filled out. So I can now just play with these clips and improvise in real time, turning things on and turning things off, adjusting mixer controls, and record all of this into Live's arrangement view. So now I'm going to press Live's global record button. So now I'm going to switch to Live's arrangement view, and everything that I've recorded, every clip I launched, every knob that I turned, all these modulations and parameters are now printed to this arrangement view as a finished song in time. Now I can go in and chop these parts up, move them around. I can do additional editing on this and really finely polish this and turn it into a finished piece of music. But what's great about this workflow is that this view, this timeline view, is where most sequencers and digital audio workstations start the working process. Everything that I did in the session view, all of this playing with musical ideas without having to think about where they go in time, that's only possible in Live. And this way of working and creating a song from parts, like you're performing, is maybe the most fun I can have making music.
It was the easiest thing in the world to set up because it automatically saw my interface. It automatically saw all of my VST and audio unit instruments, and it was like everything that I was used to working with was right there. And then it had its own instruments, its own, effects. And what I found is it got to a point that I was probably more creative than I've been in a really long time because I felt limitless.
With Ableton, you can pitch it up or whatever how you want, either from the tempo, and it doesn't sound nasty, and that's the coolest thing. That's the biggest advantage.
Yeah, the point is like to you can combine like really slow hip hop stuff, like 80 BPM, with some really fast techno stuff. It's possible. And
we can use additional things like a drum machine, either like a virtual drum machine or whatever, to make some additional beats.
Actually,
live.
yeah, actually it's like a hybrid thing, like a mixture between a live and a DJ set. And that makes it really interesting.
The thing that's cool because of the slot, the whole kind of configuration of it, you can set up alternate cues and alternate takes of cues like incredibly quickly. Because the slots almost correspond to like bits in a scene, you could have say a melody element, and you could have you know, an infinite number of different rhythm things that go along with the melody. So you can create alternate themes and variations very quickly. Right? I mean, you can create themes and variations in live, I think, quicker than almost in any other program. That is a brilliant program for film composition.
The difference that Ableton's made over using, for example, the MPC that I used to use is I can make very radical shifts in music very quickly. You know, for example, shifting from one track into another. Because the Ableton project that I use is just one big project with all the tracks in it, kind of thing. You know, it's just the only real limit to what you do is kind of what you can think up to do within a song. So you're not stuck to this kind of linear method of making music electronically, which has been a problem for a lot of composers. I think that they're stuck in that mindset. Being able to work on different parts and then mix and match them and things like that so easily is really important. And I guess that's the great thing about the Ableton interface that, you know, makes it popular with so many musicians.
You know, for me, what's really interesting, and you have a computer, and you have to have some kind of analogy to use the computer, otherwise you don't know how to control it to make sounds. And the old tape recorder analogy has gone about as far as it can. Live's a new analogy. It allows us to, like a spreadsheet, choose any sound at any point in time and still run a full tape recorder type setup at the same time.
If everyone knew what this did, this would probably be the main program that everyone would use.
Ableton Live comes in 3 different sizes. Ableton Suite is the complete package, the extra large version. Suite gives you tools and sounds with a packed sound library and 10 Ableton instruments. I used sounds and presets from Suite to make this track. Ableton Live is the large version. It's everything you need for writing, producing, and performing music, plus a basic sound set. It's like Suite with less stuff. Ableton Live LE, the medium version, provides a focused feature set and basic sound content. This gives you the essential tools for making music without breaking the bank. And before you buy anything, you can get a free 14-day license to test drive Live. This gives you all the features and sounds, and even free tech support. Join the Ableton Live community at ableton.com.